Yo, what is up, guys? Your boy Zakage here with part 4 of What If Naruto Was Beerus' Reincarnation. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let's begin. So last time we did the Land of Waves arc, and Naruto met with Ino's parents, and they hit it off almost immediately. So now we're 3 weeks away from the Chunin exams. Team 7 has their usual training sessions with Naruto, and which mainly consisted of sparring, chakra manipulation, but they had to rely on Kakashi to teach them jutsu since Naruto didn't have chakra, but Ki was similar to chakra, so that's why he was able to teach them. So that's why he was able to teach them chakra manipulation. So during this time, Sasuke unlocked his third Tomoe and has mastered a lot of lightning style jutsu. Mainly it's basically all his lightning style jutsu from Shippuden except for Kirin. Sakura is proficient in chakra control and has mastered a lot of water and earth style jutsu, and she can use this chakra control in a lot of unique ways, but I'll get into that either later or in the next part. Kakashi now has a little chakra drain when he uses his third Tomoe, and he's able to use his Mangekyo, but he doesn't because, going blind, stuff like that. And Ino, who Naruto personally trains, she hasn't really gotten any stronger since they have been going on a lot of dates lately. So, yeah, Ino is just the same as last time. She's mastered all her clan's jutsu, and Naruto actually gave her some of his god ki, but she can't use ki, so it's converted into chakra. Just check out the last part if you want to get a deeper explanation for all of that. So enough explanation of powers, enough explanation of abilities, let's get into the what if. So as Team 7 walks in, they walk past a crowd of people who were being fooled by the genjutsu, which surprised the Chunins blocking the door, but they called out to them, "Hey, this is where the exam is." Sakura then glanced back and says, "You're not fooling anyone with that low-rank genjutsu," then turned around to catch up with their team. They were about to enter the room with all the participants when Rock Lee came up to Sasuke, challenging him to a fight. Naruto chuckled, which caused a vein to appear in Lee's forehead, but he didn't pay him any mind because Lee didn't know who Naruto was. Lee and Sasuke began their little spar, and not going into much detail, but Lee was getting pummeled the entire fight. But when he was about to open the first gate, also, Lee didn't say anything about only using taijutsu because that doesn't make sense. Why would you only allow the person to use your specialty? That just makes zero sense. It's kind of like saying, Kakashi versus Guy, but Kakashi can only use taijutsu. It just doesn't make sense. So yeah. And as Lee was about to open the first gate, Guy steps in to stop the fight before it gets too out of hand. And Sasuke just smirks at Lee. Basically, Lee interpreted it as him calling him weak. And I know it's not in Lee's personality normally, but I want it to go this way. Lee quickly unclips his leg weights as he basically teleports behind Sasuke. He went for a kick to his head, and as he was about to, Naruto appears in front of him, stopping his leg with one finger. Lee fell onto the ground on his back in just amazement, and even Sasuke was amazed, but not by Naruto, by Lee. Because because he uses the Sharingan so much, his natural perceptive abilities are above average. So for Lee to outspeed him with using his base eye, no Sharingan, he was pretty impressed. So they enter the room with Kabuto, and Lee walks up to him to ask about the kid in the purple jumpsuit. Kabuto does his twirling card thingy, and this grabs a lot of people's attention because they were interested in Naruto because they sensed a strange power coming from him. So they all began to anticipate the answer, and Kabuto's eyes widen at what he sees. That's Beerus the Destroyer, he says. And he goes through all of Naruto's missions, and Naruto has done over 500 missions, ranging from triple S rank missions down to only one C rank and no B ranks. Most of them were A rank missions. And they were all mission success, and they were all completed ahead of time. So everyone in the room went silent hearing this. Then Ibiki walks in and explains, the written portion of the test. And everyone does that. Nothing too much to mention here, but Ino uses her telepathy jutsu, that she used in the war arc, to tell Naruto, along with her teammates, the answers to the test. At the Forest of Death, Anko noticed a kid in the back, not listening. And we know this kid as, Naruto, and she threw a kunai at him. Naruto just caught it in his hand, then crushed the kunai into a fine powder, which just amazed everyone, sent shivers down their spines, cause that was solid metal kunai. So when they were about to enter the forest, Kakashi appears, informing Naruto of a mission that he'll be doing in secret. Jiraiya was informed that some of Orochimaru's most active bases that he's been monitoring for weeks has just gone silent. So he just feels like there is something going on, especially around now when the Chunin exam is happening. So Naruto takes this with good faith and enters the forest. Then his team dashes towards the gate where some hidden sound ninja were. They easily take care of them, Sakura taking out the female of the group and Sasuke easily taking out the other two. Naruto just was pretty impressed at his team, especially with Sakura, because she came so far, being the kunai wielding third wheel of the team. He just praised them. The two accepted his praise. They were like, "Oh my god, Sensei noticed me." Stuff like that. So they started heading towards the center of the Forest of Death because they got the scroll from one of the sound ninja. And on their way, they actually encounter another sound shinobi. It was a female, and she began attacking Team 7. Sasuke, using his fireball, the grass ninja, I'll just call it Orochimaru. Orochimaru dodges it, but some of it actually burnt the side of his face, revealing his true form. Revealing his true form. And Naruto, noticing this, doesn't want to take any chances, so he immediately goes for the death blow with Orochimaru, punching him towards the ground. Holding back a lot, cause he can just obliterate him. So he held back a lot, and Orochimaru was just on the verge of death, but he regurgitated himself, fully healing himself. And Orochimaru was like, this is not it. I'm not gonna win. So he tries escaping in his snake form, but Naruto grabs him by the tail and throws him towards Sasuke, who then used a lightning style jutsu, electrocuting Orochimaru, causing him to fall in the ground and reverting back to his human form. Naruto quickly decapitated Orochimaru and sealed his head and body inside a scroll. So they head towards the tower where they open their heaven and earth scrolls, and Naruto shows Kakashi his, Orochimaru's body, and he takes them to the third Hokage. So while that's happening, the rest of the teams come and they have the preliminary exams. The preliminary exams go pretty much the same to canon, with Naruto easily beating Kiba, and Sasuke doing the same for the person he fought. I think it was a sound shinobi. But the fight I really want to get into is Sakura versus Ino. So the fight begins with Sakura charging at Ino with a chakra enhanced punch. blocked this but was sent back a few feet. Then she fell onto one knee, then looked up to see Sakura's foot coming down at her head. Barely dodges, but within a second, Sakura kicks towards her head again, and having no time to block, used her hand to block it, and her forearm broke. She winced in pain, and then Naruto and realized that though she's physically and ability-wise stronger than Sakura, that they didn't train her speed, so even so she's still slower and won't be able to use them. Not wanting to lose, uses something that Naruto has been teaching her in secret. Then she heard a voice from the stands. Don't use it. She looked over to Naruto, pointing at his head, and she guessed that he meant that she should use her head. Focused back to the fight, and Sakura went for another kick. Then used a substitution jutsu to buy some time. She then used a shadow clone jutsu, creating one shadow clone, and this clone used the mind transfer jutsu on Sakura after 2 failed attempts because she was dodging. Naruto smiled from the stands, and quickly charged up a full powered punch, sending Sakura into the wall and her shadow clone poofing into smoke. After this, the proctor declared the winner, and she went up to the viewing area, and Naruto hugged her and raised her in the hair and started spinning her around. Was caught off guard because normally she was the one who started off things, but a change in pace, she was glad. So their 1 month training before the final stages of the tuning exams. These go the same. Naruto actually didn't train Team 7 while on the break because he wanted to relax with Ino. Speaking of relaxing, on their way to the hot springs, Naruto saw this old guy with white hair outside peeking. Naruto just sighed and neck chopped the guy in the back of the head, leaving him laying in the grass outside the hot springs. An hour later, he comes out to see the guy still there, and he decides to, take him to the hospital. But as he's picking him up, he realizes that this is the Toad Sage Jiraiya, and he takes him to the Hokage's office. After a few hours, Jiraiya finally wakes up to find himself next to Hiruzen. Hiruzen gives him the basic rundown of, Naruto's abilities, telling him how strong he is. And Jiraiya was just shocked that, his grandson was this strong. His father would be proud, basically. And Jiraiya, wanting to test Naruto, decides to have a quick sparring match outside. The two go outside, and the match basically ended as soon as it began. Hiruzen said begin, and Naruto teleported behind Jiraiya, neck chopping him. But it wasn't enough, but Jiraiya fell to his knees. Then Naruto teleported back in front of him, realizing that wasn't enough, then kicked him right in the head, sending him on his back. Jiraiya stared in the sky, then saw Naruto stand over him. Had enough yet, Jiraiya? Or should I say grandfather? Godfather. Or should I say Godfather? Jiraiya smirked and closed his eyes and stood still for 5 seconds. He then reopened his eyes, revealing that he had entered Toad Sage mode. He quickly jumped up, punching Naruto square in the face, but Naruto didn't even flinch. This made Jiraiya a bit scared, because this punch rivals Tsunade's, and he just took it like nothing. Jiraiya soon backed off and used his hair spike jutsu thing to send a bunch of spikes towards Naruto, but all of them bounced off. Jiraiya was just amazed at this strength, then decided to test out that jutsu to see how it would fare to it. Jiraiya then ran full speed towards Naruto, and Naruto easily dodges this, but Jiraiya then spins around, creating Jiraiya then spins his body around with a Rasengan in hand. Naruto was a bit interested by this jutsu and decided to let it hit him. It hit Naruto, and to his surprise, yeah, nothing happened. Jiraiya was just completely dumbfounded and was about to quit when he got a kick to the face, sending him into a wall, knocking him out. He then woke up in the office, not in the office, he then woke up in the hospital and looked to his left to see Hiruzen just face palming like, I told you, but you didn't listen. You deserve that one. Jiraiya then looked to his right to see Naruto reading Ichi Ichi Paradise. He says, "Oh kid, you have good taste in literature." Naruto nods and says, "Yeah, but the author of this book, he's discontinuing it. Hopefully he makes another. Jiraiya smirks and says, "Well, did you know I'm the author of the book?" Naruto was like, "Really? Whoa, like, when's the next one coming out?" Jiraiya just smirked, and after this conversation, they decided to train for the month. And it went similar to Kakashi training Naruto. It started off that way, but soon Naruto was the one training Jiraiya. Naruto, since he didn't have chakra, he couldn't do the summoning jutsu, but he could do a type of Rasengan with using his ki. But a ki blast was more efficient, so Naruto wouldn't really use that. Skip to the Chunin exams. This time around, Hiruzen decided to do something different. Since Naruto was basically going to win it no matter what, he decided to make a spectacle out of Naruto's strength. He pit all the teams and their Jonin senseis against Naruto. And Naruto wouldn't really have a problem with any of them, except I would say Team Guy, if Guy goes full strength, not full strength, if Guy takes it seriously, and Kakashi as well. So I'll be going into full details into those fights in the next part. Thank you guys for sticking to the end of the video, and the next part, hopefully, like, I'm gonna try and make it extra long, like the longest video I have on my channel. I'm aiming for half an hour. Also, you guys may not have realized, but I'm a bit sick. Like, that's why I haven't posted in 4 days now. I was pretty sorry about that. So yeah, I'm getting better. I wouldn't say I'm 100% yet, but I had to get this video out. I've been gone for so long, so just wanted to get it out there, and hope you guys enjoyed it. But yeah, thank you guys for enjoying the what ifs. Like 700 subscribers, that's just crazy, man. Just want to say thanks, and I'll see you guys in the next what if.